Hear my call, I'm on a mission. With every frequency, I find my vision. Ham Radio Crusader, hear my voice in a world of chatter. We make our choice, uniting us all from far and near. With every broadcast, we spread the cheer. From city lights to mountains high, I share the message, let the signals fly. Kindness in my heart, courage in my soul. Together we can reach our ultimate goal. So tune in tight, let's amplify. Knowledge shared is how we testify. Ham Radio Crusader, hear my voice in a world of chatter.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome to the Ham Radio Crusader 6K giveaway live stream right here on the Ham Radio Crusader YouTube channel. Thank you for coming. Thank you, and meet my guests. To my right is James Alpha 5 Papa Delta, the amateur radio guy, and just under him is Jeff K3JRZ from K3JRZ on the air YouTube channel, and to Jeff's right under me is Tim, the Gray Man POTA himself from the Gray Man POTA YouTube channel. Thank you guys for coming. I really appreciate you.
Oh, thanks for having us.
Great.
Well, I appreciate it just the same. I really, really do. How was y'all's day?
Well, I'm pretty good, but looking at the chat here, it looks like 45 Auto's ready to get $6,000.
Well, it's not quite $6,000.
No,
We're celebrating that milestone tonight.
maybe 600 pennies.
600 something, 600 words of advice, maybe. Lord, I can come up with that. Or
It could be Canadian dollars too. Let's not.
Ooh, yeah, because they're
I haven't checked the exchange rate today. Eric's right. Could be pesos.
Could be pesos. You never can tell. I mean, or tacos. Yeah. Jeff's got the right idea. I'd take the tacos myself.
You're in the right crowd for the tacos,
Dude, yes. I tell you what.
Although, speaking of pesos, have you guys been to Mexico?
I've never been.
Been a long time since I have been.
Long time. Yeah.
I went, well, so I was in the Navy and we're down south Cozumel, wherever it was. I go to the ATM and I pull out, I don't know, $30, $40, $50, whatever it was. And I became a millionaire on the spot. The exchange rate was that bad that it was in millions of pesos. It was ridiculous. And I think sometime later that month they cut it like 1/10 or whatever, but
Oh, gee whiz.
they did funny money manipulation stuff. But
Yeah, the exchange rate down there is off the charts compared to the US dollar, I guess.
Yeah.
I know the Canadian money is kind of like their dollar's not quite to our dollar, if I'm not mistaken. It seemed like when I was looking all that up on eBay.
I think it's about $1.30 US to $1 Canadian, or maybe it's $1.30 Canadian to $1 US.
Yeah, that sounds about right. It's like,
Somewhere in there. They're a little off, but not bad.
good.
No.
Yeah, but they do take American money though.
Oh yeah, shoot, yeah. Only gonna go up for them there, I think so.
With no hesitation.
Yeah.
So let's go around the room and you guys can tell me what's going on with your channels, and we'll creep ever closer to the giveaways. We've got 2 HTs to give away tonight. Gee whiz, I forgot the model for the Royage. I've had this Royage for quite a while, and it was one of them. It's like, okay, the price is right. It's not really anything special. I mean, it's got a decent amount of features for a radio, and I'm like, I really hate to let it go because it's one of those cute little burgers. It's a UV 58 plus.
Is that a French name?
Royage. I seriously
Sounds French.
I tried to get a translation for it, and I got none.
Really?
But we've also got the Baofeng UV13 Pro, and I did translate the word Baofeng from Chinese, and it means storm. It must have, because it took America by storm, and it still is, because they're selling the fool out of that brand.
Yep.
Anyway, let's go over to James. Let's start with James first, since he's the rookie in the room. amateur radio guy. Tell us what you got going on, and I think you got a little bit of something to tell us about that you are offering on your website.
Well, if you see me blink and look weird tonight, it's because I went to the eye doctor today and they dilated my eyes, so everything kind of looks weird and blurred. And
Try to click the right button.
yeah, I'm trying. Oh well, we still been putting battery boxes together. We have the newest version out now, which is really cool. The original boxes that we used to make, when you put the battery in, they were on. But the difference is these batteries use the DeWalt batteries. So you take a 20-volt DeWalt battery, goes through the regulation process, comes out 13.8, good for 20 amps, has power pole, cigarette lighter, USB, ANCs. It's pretty neat. But the difference with our new version that we came out with, now has a power switch,
which is an amazing little feature to have.
Battery box is powered up.
Is that a heat sink on the outside there?
That is the actual ducker. Takes anything up to about 24 volts and regulates it down to 13.8.
Okay.
And the humor of this whole story is I had to bring this upstairs because I had a little Tech Power switching power supply downstairs that I run on my 991A, and I was talking with the guys one morning and boom, it went off. I went, that's really weird. I thought maybe I unplugged it, maybe the power cable come loose. I didn't know what happened. I went to pick up the power supply and OMG, it about burned my hands off. The little cooling fan wasn't even on, and I was like, this is not good. So I immediately, because I was talking to the guys, went and grabbed a battery box, threw a battery in it, plugged it in because it has dual power pole, just plugged everything right back in. Boom, I was right back up on the air. Well, I ended up having to send the power supply to the company, so it's going to be about another 2 weeks. So for 2 weeks now, I'll be running battery boxes every day. And so far, it's been really cool because it's just amazing what you can do with it. We've had so much opportunity to really put it through its paces lately. And when you're running a 100-watt radio and you're talking to the guys constantly, just key up on key, key up on key, key up on key, it really tells you what it's made of. And it's been pretty good. Pretty good.
I used one on field day we had a 6 amp hour, only one 6 amp hour battery in it. And I ran my FTDX10 at full power for full activation. And we're talking, I think I made 18 contacts on that one, but it took a while because the bands were so clogged up that day, but it still had 13 volts on the meter when I got done. So
yeah, we have been really pleased with them. I've been able so far, man, I've got these things in Canada already. I've got some in California, went to somewhere in Florida. I sent a couple out to Florida, and they're really been selling. We managed to sell quite a few over the last couple hamfest. I went to Oklahoma City, and I think I had 8 with me, and I didn't come back with a single one. And got a lot of reviews. The neatest one that I've had so far was in Oklahoma City at the last hamfest, and there was a gentleman that came by my table and he goes, I want to show you why I bought your battery box. Okay. He had a little cooler and he has to carry insulin pins with him, and he has to keep that insulin in a refrigerated environment. So he had a little refrigerated cooler that was designed for his insulin pins running it on a battery box. Cool. And he keeps it at his desk or his table over there. And I thought, wow. I took pictures of it. I haven't posted them on the website yet. I've just had so much going, but that to me just almost made tears in my eyes, because all this work and this effort of sitting down and building these things, you never know what people are going to use them for, and when it comes to someone's health, I'm all about that.
It's
so
kind
that
of a
was
big deal.
That was pretty cool. Yeah, pretty cool. We do have these for sale. I am currently down to one in stock. This one that I just showed you right here. It's the last one I have. I got more parts here. I've got other parts on the way. I just got to sit down and build them. I'm running these for a special. If you want to purchase one of these, there are several ways you can do it. You're welcome to email me. I just threw my email address up there at the top, aa5pd@yahoo.com. Email me, give me a valid phone number, email address. I do make these for Milwaukee as well. I don't have any Milwaukee parts in right now. If you want one, you have to give me a little time to get it all together, and then I'll build you one. The shipping on these, I have to send them. The best way that I've been able to send them is United States Postal Service. They do the flat rate boxes. Sometimes they're a little bigger than necessary because they don't make a specific box for this particular unit. It's a little bit bigger, but I'm doing them for $225. If you want one, please email me and I'll be happy to hook you up. I do have one ready to go. I can get it in the mail ASAP. So other than that, just keep it on.
And that's the way to do it. If you see his website scrolling at the bottom of the screen, or you can just send him an email, aa5pd@yahoo.com. Shout out to Big Apple Amateur. Thank you for the congrats. We appreciate you. And thank you for being a channel member. And Andy Callie as well. I see you out there, buddy. I see you in all the live streams, but I really am glad that you're here for this one. I really appreciate it.
I kind of feel like Andy Callie might have come over here after the Nuggets episode or maybe after Clubhouse last night and camped out.
I think he did, because he's
the guy. I think, I think if anybody wants to get tickets to a concert, Andy Callie's the guy to go. He is prepared to wait and be there.
That's for dang sure.
Yeah. Hey, so you did mention you had things for Milwaukee. I think somebody in the chat was asking about Craftsman. Do you have plans for any other battery systems besides those two? Or
I do. I know Bauer has been talked about because there's a lot of people that have the Bauer brand.
Yeah.
The challenge that I found with the Bauer is it takes an adapter to get it into a specific cradle that I can purchase. Okay. So there's a cradle, there's an adapter, and then the Bauer battery. So I know Craftsman, some of the Craftsman batteries, if it's the old school, they were the big rounded battery, and then they had a shaft that came out.
Okay. Yeah.
Like the 19.2 series and things like that. Yeah. So, I'm sure I'm one of those improvise, overcome, and adapt people. If there's a will, there's a way. There's a way. I'll figure it out. Yeah. But depending on what style battery it is, and I have not been up to speed, and there's nothing wrong with Craftsman. I started with Craftsman years ago, but I would have to see a battery in order to know whether or not I can do that.
I think in general, a lot of those brands pretty much from the bottom down use the same batteries and the same, it's the top plate and the pinouts on where they, how wide do they make it and how many pins are in there in what order, so they can key it, to their equipment only. And that is the challenge. You're right, because there are so many of them out there.
I had a lot of people ask me, say, well, how do you charge the battery? Well, if you have a DeWalt, that means you have a DeWalt charger. If you have a Milwaukee, you have a Milwaukee charger. You can't charge it within the box. This is just more or less it's just like a drill. It's a tool. So, pull the battery out. Nice thing is I got a rack over here behind me over here. It is a wall rack, and it is lined up with nothing but DeWalt. And so I have plenty of batteries, and that was kind of the concept behind all this thing. I wanted to take advantage of what I already had on hand. And, lipos are great. This is convenient. Less weight. It's very small, very compact. A lot of things you can do with it. There are drawbacks. The difference is you're using a high voltage battery and you're stepping it down, not like a 13.8 or, like a LiPo battery or anything like that. So there's pros and cons, but the concept has been phenomenal.
Tell them about the QRP version.
I do make a QRP version. Thank you. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I did just now.
A lot of the QRP radios we have found do not like 13.8 power supply. They are not real warm and fuzzy with that kind of voltage. So I had a gentleman reach out. Matter of fact, one of the guys that reached out was a guy from Florida, and he said, "Hey, do you make one of these that will just regulate to 12 volt?" I said, "Yes, I do," because I had a ducker that was already put in place for 12 volt only. And he said, "I'll take one, put that on it." And I sent it to him, and it's been phenomenal for him. So yes, there is a model, and it is specific output for 12 volt, not 13.8. It's amazing how 1 volt and 1.8 volts makes a big difference, but it
Huge
does.
difference.
Yeah. So if you're interested in just using one for QRP and you want 12 volt output only, that's the way definitely to go. If you email me and say, "Hey, I want this," be sure you specify what you want. If you want a 12 volt or if you want a 13.8. Most of my radios that I use, I have an FTDX10, I have a 991 downstairs, TS2000, I got a 706. I mean, I'm radio poor. So
Yes.
all my stuff can, work very well with 13.8. So my boxes are 13.8.
John WV3L is wondering if those cradles are molded or printed.
They are molded, manufactured plastic. I do not 3D print them.
I bet there's probably a jig out there for, what do you call those Thingiverse files for the 3D printer? I bet there's something out there like, yeah, those things. An STL for that, I would imagine. But I bought a few of those, like James has those cradles. Yeah, that's a little old, but they're pretty stinking neat. And you come up with more than one use for them. But I bet somebody's 3D printed one by now. Shoot, they're 3D printing everything.
Oh yeah.
All right, let's get on to Jeff K3JRZ. Tell us what's going on, brother.
Oh, I am just trying to get through every day to the next one. Beginning of November, I went down to Virginia. Did 2 activations on the way down, did 2 the next day while I was down there. Working on that 3rd video now. It's an interesting one. I have the concept for it mostly done. I might redo it. I don't know. 2 things happened during that activation that kind of made it unique, but it was really cool. And I'm working on the video now. I just need more time to work on it because work's in the way. Work just mentally and physically drains me. So I try to get my stuff done when I can. I actually will be having eventually a 2,000 subscriber giveaway. I'm still a little shy of, I'm under 400 more to go, but I've been planning it. Quirky QRP came to me about doing a prize. I said, let's hold off for now until we get closer. I got a few kind of unique prizes, kind of things amateur radio operators can use. Good thing to have with them. Some unique other items. I have 7 prize packs too. So each one will probably have a unique set of items in there. If I do get 2,000 by the end of the year, I will give away a 5-watt radio.
Ooh, love radios of any wattage.
I just kind of threw that in there just to help see if I could move the subscription count along, and it really hasn't. But it is what it is. It'll take however long it takes. I'm in no hurry. But yeah, just redid my graphics.
I love your new graphics, dude. It's like got the 1980s written all over it. I love it. Love it.
I'm thinking about doing shirts. I have some designs mocked up right now, so we'll see where that goes to.
You've got to, because I bought Tim's t-shirt, I bought Mike's t-shirt because I love repping other channels, and I'm like, where's looking for Jeff? And I don't have a Jeff t-shirt. I don't have a K3JRZ on the air t-shirt. So you got to get that going, man.
Yeah, I know. Tim just got t-shirts. Yeah, I like that logo.
Oh yeah, I'm loving the new logo.
I have to mock up the logo for a t-shirt, but it should be easy. Tim just got some new shirts too. I saw them on social media.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So yeah, it's pretty cool that we're all buying each other's shirts. I've been a little slack. I got Freddie's shirt, and I think I got someone else's. I can't remember now, but trying to catch up with everything and get stuff taken care of. And
It
oh,
sucks
boy.
how much time work consumes away from your real passion called YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube and going actually out to do POTA activation.
Exactly. Gee
I mean,
whiz.
there's a guy that I'm very friendly with in New Jersey. He says, "Hey, I'm trying to get hold of you to do a contact. I'll be out like today." I'm like, "Today's Monday, dude. I'm working."
It's
So there's been times where we've both been out, and I've tried to reach him, and I can't hear him. Usually because of the distance, and there's no ground wave between us at that time. So
oh yeah. Yeah.
ground wave is always weird because sometimes I'll hit it, and sometimes it'll be like 2-3 miles away, and sometimes it'll be like 20 miles away, and I'll just get ground wave, and it's just weird how sometimes it's there and sometimes it's not.
Yeah, and I've decided I'm going to go back. I want to do an activation. I'd activate every day if I had the time. I mean, I'm retired and I work 2
Exactly.
days a week, but I'm like swamped for everything. But I've just got this idea. I'm going to turn, I use the Coffee and Ham Radio's Apollo right now, in-fed half wave, and I got this plan to turn it a different direction, so maybe I can get better contacts in other directions, because I'm always hitting Canada, I'm always hitting Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Southern California, Arizona. It's like every southern state, and then occasionally New York will pop in. It's like I got to get back up there.
Are you running your east, west, north, south? Which way are you?
Well, the mast is
Or is it
east.
the Apollo is a vertical, isn't it?
No,
or
the
is it
Apollo's an infed.
Okay, so it's slow.
The Poseidon's a vertical, which I have. We're going to build on air pretty soon, but haven't used it yet. But I usually put the mast to the east and bring the endpoint termination into the west. And so it's basically going east to west. And
So try it north to south.
I'm going to turn that sucker and see
Yeah.
what else pops up. I did get London at that same spot. I got London. Some guy was doing an activation with 700 watts, and gee whiz, it was easy.
Oh,
It was easy.
there's a guy that I was talking to about how he liked to do like FT8 with like 400 or 800 watts. I'm like, dude, whatever floats your boat. That's awesome that you had the money for that equipment
Yeah.
and have the time to do that.
I guess I'm old school, and I really truly mean that. I started out with JT65, and it was considered bad form and piss poor operating if you pushed anything more than you needed to absolutely, because you splattered the bands.
Right.
And so when I hear people 100 watts on FT8, well, first of all, I'm just going to say this. It's a little controversial. If you need 100 watts to do FT8, you suck. I mean, your radio sucks. Your antenna sucks. You should be able to do FT8 around the world with 5 watts. Well, at least halfway around the world. I'm serious. I'm not pushing QRP, but you really don't need a whole lot of power to do that. It's about low detection. That software is designed to get you down to negative 24 dB or something. You don't need the blast. You make your contact, you move on. It's not 5.9.
Amen to that.
You don't need 5.9s. You just need to make a contact.
Yeah, as long as the two stations hear each other, it's good. I made my Alaska park to park contact, and me and Jeremy KE7LC.
That crazy guy.
Yeah, and he could barely hear me, and I could barely hear him, but we heard each other enough to actually have the contact. I mean, I haven't recorded, of course, and it worked. I didn't need to hear him crystal clear and give him a 5.9, and he didn't need to do the same to me, but we heard each other enough to get it done.
That did you see the pictures of him from his last?
Yeah, I did.
I'm sorry that all the moisture clinging to his beard, and I hate it made me cold just looking at that picture.
Well, let's bounce it over to Tim Grayman POTA. Tell us what's going on with your channel, what you got going on right now, Bubba.
Not much in the new shack, obviously.
Beautiful, by the way.
It's good. Yeah.
Busy with work, and we've had a little bit of cold. Speaking of cold here, so I've been trying to find new ways to get out and activate. And I've got I've got a fishing shanty and a buddy heater and all that stuff, but that's a lot of setup. So if I'm going to go to an event and be there, most of the time though, my activations are pretty quick. I mean, half an hour to an hour. So I've been playing around. I got myself a ATOS 120.
Ooh.
And, am now trying to figure out how I can get that set up on the Bronco. It's hard to navigate when you've got a composite roof and aluminum body panels. So to get mounted, it's probably going to be a temporary type thing. Temporary in the sense that I'm going to put the antenna on, jump back inside the truck, warm up, and just activate, and then take it off when I'm done. But leave some kind of a permanent mounting. I'm afraid that by as tall as that antenna is, that it's going to flex the mount's going to flex on the hood or wherever I clip it to. So, I want to get out there and just have fun, and do some activations. You were talking about shirts. I did release a new shirt. I don't know, Freddie, you got me set up where can I share a screen?
I don't know.
Let me
You're
move
talking
this
to a
screen.
live streaming idiot.
Hey,
So,
no, that's okay.
can you
We're
hit the present button?
we're having fun here. Let me oh no, gosh darn. These Macs, man, and they're
Well,
it's not like Windows where you can just blast the screen. No, if something's got full screen, it does its thing and doesn't like it.
well, my streaming computer is a Windows machine, but my production computer is a Mac. So,
Real computer.
I tell you, when I win the lottery, they're all going to be Macs.
Yes.
They're gonna be Mac Pros,
Exactly.
fully loaded.
My MacBook's a MacBook Pro, and I tell you what, I could have bought a truck for what I paid for that thing. A used truck, but dang.
I'm enjoying saving up my money for when I get my new Mac. Thought
So-
I might get it sooner, but it's gonna be later.
It's all time and time.
Yep. I'm in no rush.
Is that do you see where you can
There it is. Boink.
Yes.
Ah.
So a friend of mine and her wife had a new baby boy, and we were talking about designs, and I had this thing pop into my head. I'm like, well, how funny would this be? So I don't know if you guys can read that, but it says I loaded up something and it wasn't an antenna. So I didn't tell him. I just made it. I had it packaged up.
Oh,
I sent it
awesome.
to him.
That's hilarious.
No,
You're gonna have to help me
and
with my page. You make your dadgum merch page look really good. I like that.
They got this thing in the mail, and then they're like, yeah, I opened this thing up, and there all of a sudden your ugly face. And I said, you know what, people, he's a ham radio operator, newborn. Not everybody that's in amateur radio, is 50, 60 years old. So people are having kids. I thought, what the heck? So I went ahead and just released it, and I'm going to probably come up with a couple more just to have some fun. I mean, James Corky, he's got his bro t-shirts. I've got my I loaded up something that wasn't
some loaded something.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love it. Shout out to Stephen Mulvey down there in New Zealand. $20 New Zealand money. Appreciate you. Sorry I'm late, Freddie. Hey, better late than never, buddy. Better late than never. Steve's a great guy. You ought to look him up. Oh, gee whiz. Steven, put your call sign in the chat. I can never remember it because I'm a terrible person. And M17DJT, thank you for being there, sir. And thank you for being a new channel member. We appreciate the support. The channel can use all the help it can get to move forward. That is for sure. I put Grayman POTA's channel link in the chat. James, if you would look yours up for me real quick, I think you have the ability to throw yours into the chat. If you don't, let me know.
What is it? I'm sorry.
Your channel, your YouTube channel link. Put it into the chat. I'm a terrible host. I'm new. I don't know what to do.
I don't know what I do either.
We all can't be Big Jim.
No, I tell you what, and I'm looking at that end stream button up there, and I'm scared to death I'm going to hit it by accident.
That's Chuck. That's the Chuck button.
It's the Chuck button.
Don't Chuck the stream.
I do that in Teams all the time with work. I'll go to share my screen and hit the leave room button.
Yeah, you do.
Oh
that
yeah, it's like
you do that on
turn
purpose.
away from it. Keep trying to hit.
Yeah,
the
I do.
button,
Yeah.
man. There's Stevens.
I do it on purpose too.
Zulu Lima 2 Delta Alpha Tango Stephen Mulvey down there in New Zealand. He's a great guy. Y'all look him up when you get a chance. Okay, that's what's James got to say. Just put a post-it note on your screen that says no touching. Yeah, I need some daggum post-it notes, that's for sure. So I also, those of you out there in the live stream land, I have the 2 handy talkies to give away, but I also have a nice little something to give away from James over at Quirky QRP. Let me see if I can actually do this. I know I can somehow or another. I did it once. Nope, not that one. With that one. It is the Don't Tread on My Frequencies Gadsden flag from Quirky QRP on Etsy.com. And I need to put the link to that into the live chat. I have 2 browsers going because you can't log out of StreamYard if you log into the wrong account, because I have a free one and I have a paid one. And I accidentally logged in with the free one and you can't log out of it. I had to open another browser to do it. I don't know what's going on. I had to send him an email. I'm new. I don't know what to do.
Frank has it covered.
Oh, Frank, help us out there, brother. If you've covered it.
He's got it.
Far out, because I tell you what, I about lost my stinking mind an hour before the stream started. I'm like, what did I do? Why can't I log out?
Frank's gonna probably send you a link to clean out your bank account.
He may. Frank helps me out, man. He is Johnny on the spot when it comes to resources, dude. Gee whiz. I'm like, guarantee Frank knows
antenna.
No, Frank does not do soldering for me, for all of those of you that have seen Frank's soldering skills and abilities.
Yeah, we love you, Frank. Don't
we do.
We wouldn't pick on you if we didn't like you.
So let's give away oh heck, we'll start with the Baofeng UV13 Pro. This particular model has the old school 1970s telescoping antenna on it. It didn't actually come with it. I bought this after the fact, and the antenna that it came with it's God knows where. But I thought, man, I seen this. That's pretty cool. I had some flashbacks of those old transistor radios back in the day. So let's give that sucker away. What do you want me to put in the giveaway tool thingy, my bobber? Let's see. How about Fang? Pound Fang, Feng. You guys can see that. How do I make my screen the screen? Right there. No, let's do that. How about that? Can y'all see that?
Oh yeah, that's good.
Okay, so put Pound Fang, a lowercase Feng, into the chat. And we got 22 entries so far. Dad burn. They're tearing it up.
Dad burn.
Dad burn. Dad gum.
Oh, I feel like Hank Hill's going to make an appearance tonight.
Well, you'll never know how many Baofangs you can buy at a Texas mall, Bobby. If you weren't my son, I'd hug you. So 51. Dadgum, how many we have watching the stream? I haven't even looked. It's really distracting trying to go back.
Jody's spelling Fang the Canadian way.
79 right now.
79. Heck, yeah, thank you.
YouTube says.
Go YouTube.
YouTube.
I tell you what, when we hit, it may not happen. It might happen at 7,000 subscribers or 8 or 9 or 10. But in the near future, I've got 4 built portable all-star nodes. 2 of them are built out of the GM300, the Motorola GM300s. The other two are built out of Motorola CDM 750s. Two of them are VHF, two of them are UHF, and they have built-in antennas. And the Raspberry Pi runs off of a buck converter. So all you got to do is hook up the power, 12-volt power, which is Anderson power poles, and it powers the entire thing, the radio, the Pi, and it's got a side mount antenna. One of them has a, oh, geez, what's our nice flexible walkie antennas that are so long? The
Signal stick.
The signal stick.
Signal
It's one of them's got a signal stick on it. The other one are like walkie antennas. These radios are turned down to about 10 watts, so they can handle it. I accidentally left one of the radios up to 50 watts and put a really cheap Baofeng antenna on it. Yeah, it's at a 90-degree angle now. It melted it right at the base.
Fire department showed up.
Dude, it was scary. I'm like, what's this out of the corner of my eye? And it was smoke. That's what it was. But in my defense, the antenna wasn't screwed down all the way either, and it wasn't making great contact. So, okay. So, can y'all still see that big on the screen? We're up to 58. If we hit 60, I'll get draw. Come on, guys. Just need two more. Go. Oh, one more. We're almost there.
Yep.
Come on, y'all. You know you want a free walkie-talkie. I'll even mail it to you for free in the United States. But if you live overseas, we're going to have to talk about that a little bit. But hey, it's a free.
I feel like a Hank Hill auctioneer is coming on.
I don't think I've ever heard Hank Hill do an auction. 20. Do I hear 22 propane and propane accessories up for auction? No propane today. Man, they were talking about bringing that show back, and I haven't heard or seen nothing about it. I'm like, if there's a show they want to bring back, it'd be that one.
Yeah, I think people on the internet start rumors.
They do, and I tell you what, there's another thing that's a pet peeve of mine. I'm gonna get on my soapbox in a minute. All these fake movie trailers that are out there on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, because I'm like, Gilligan's Island. Oh wow, and no.
I will admit that I got caught by one here just recently, and my wife had to straighten me out because I was pumped, and it was the Back to the Future 4 one. Have you seen that?
Oh yes, because I kind of bid on that one too.
I was like, oh my god, I'm pretty good. I'm an IT guy. I'm in the webs and all the dark, the stuff, and it got me in.
It's like, come on, man.
It was. Right. I will give it to those. Those guys should get an award. There should be an award at the Grammys for fake movie trailers.
Fake movie trailers, because some of them are really convincing. And there was. I got to admit it. I like the Harry Potter series, and after that, my kids are all grown now. They talked me into taking them to that first Harry Potter movie all them years ago. Harry Potter. Come on, Harry
Potty mouth.
Yeah, and then I was like, after the third movie, they're not even watching it that close, and I can't wait to find out what happens next because I'm all wrapped up in the stinking story now. So, yeah.
I think last summer we did the whole series with my two younger kids.
Oh man, I tell you that it's a good story. I don't believe in all that stuff, but it's a great story. I like it.
You don't have to believe in it to enjoy the story. All right, people are saying push the button.
Okay, here we go. 61, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Can y'all see that okay on the screen?
Yep.
Oh. Seen Connie go by. Missed it. Oh, Chris Ritchie, adventurous. Chris Ritchie, send me an email at kd5fmu@gmail.com. That's Kilo Delta 5 Foxtrot Mike Uniform @gmail.com. And we will get you squared away with one Baofeng UV13 Pro. It is UHF, VHF. It's got one bright screen on it. I think I can show it to you here. Yeah, because the screen is so bright that it washes away on the camera and you can't see anything. But it kind of is what it is. This is the Voyage. I'll turn that little screen on. It's the Ham Radio Crusader edition
I
because
see that.
the banner is customizable. That took a little bit of doing, but I figured it out.
Is
But
Is
say
that
again.
just FM, straight FM radio, or is that?
Yep, they're both FM. I don't think either one of them does aircraft receive. Those models I have a few that do, that will be in future giveaways for sure. You know, I admit I have a problem when it comes to HTs, and it's really hard to let them go, dude. It's really hard to let them go.
I would say either one of those would pair well with a nice all-star node.
I really think they do, because this one here I used a lot. Now, don't get me wrong, the Voyage, I've had it, gee whiz, since the channel started, almost right after, and it performed really, really well as far as around the house on all-star node. But the Baofeng did very, very well as well. And I have another model that will be given away that it works really, really well, but it seems like it accepts more interference than this model does, than the UV13 Pro. But yeah, it is what it is at the end of the day. You know, when you get a Baofeng, you get a Baofeng. That's just the long and short of it. So let's see, we're at 7-11. So before we give away another one, yes, Mike M2. Yeah,
that guy.
M2 MAK, Mike, my buddy up here in Henrietta, New York. Hey, thanks for being there. And that, yes, the radio.
Wait a minute,
Yellow radio does.
Aren't you in Henrietta, Oklahoma?
I am, but he lives very near Henrietta, New York. So we're like
you're like sister ham tubers, right?
That's what I'm saying.
There you go.
Only we're guys. So
yeah, well,
so we're straight on that.
Hey, new age in history.
It is, yes, and I'm very tolerant of a lot of things. So, so we're all clear on that. Far out, solid, and right on. All right. So how do I change this back? There we are. There everyone is. I'll get the giveaway tool thing ready for another deal. So Chris Ritchie, Adventurous, send me an email, kd5fmu@gmail.com. Let me know that you're the winner. You will, and we'll work together on getting your address, and I'll get that out in the mail to you very, very soon. So anyone else? I wanted to show you guys a picture of, James's battery box runs on those little cradles, right? Those oh gee whiz, DeWalt battery cradles. And I got to looking around on Temu, and I found some stuff that, like, you know what? I think I could really do something with this. And let's see if I can find it right here. Can you see this all right? Oh, wait,
I need to zoom in.
Get bigger.
Freddie, you could probably pull us all to the side and take your screen that you're sharing and make it the main.
Nope. Nope.
Oh, you're mixing OBS. You're mixing OBS with StreamYard, are you? You're crossing.
I'm doing something wrong. Crossing the streams. That's what I'm doing.
Streams. That's okay.
What the heck am I
Don't
doing?
be crossing the streams.
Oh, I know. Wait. Let's do this.
People are going to be able to see the private chat and
all
the stuff we say about them.
So if I hit add item, camera slot, media slot. No, I don't know what I'm doing. So if I do,
should be able to just present and share your screen.
Something like that. And then do that. Can you see that?
There you go.
That is one of those DeWalt battery cradles, only it's not necessarily a cradle. It is a buck converter or a duck converter, whatever you're going to call it. It takes that 20 volts from that DeWalt battery, converts it down to 5. I plugged it into a Raspberry Pi and I ran a ASL3 node without a radio. Now this is a 2 amp hour battery from 2013. It held it on for a day and a half. So, I thought, you know what? I switched that over to a 6.5 amp hour battery that's brand new. It ran it for 3 days.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm thinking, oh, there's some experimentation in order here. Let me get this straightened out. A producer, I'm not. Someday, maybe. You can't ever tell. But those suckers are on AliExpress or Temu. I can't remember. I might have bought one from each. But I'm thinking they may or should be a little more efficient than they are because, 6.5 amp hours on a Raspberry Pi 02W is not that big in a pull. And it when I charged up the battery, it lasted closer to it just a hair over 3 days. Just a hair over 3 days. And I made it run some cron jobs and play some files and do an hourly announcement and all that other stuff just to give it some work. I just didn't have it attached to a radio. So, it's a work in progress, but it's something to think about out there. And I'm going to do some videos on it for sure. So we'll see what happens. Okay. You ready to give away another radio, guys?
Are you?
Sure.
Okay.
You're only 15 minutes into this. Or no, wait a
50.
minute. Are we 40 or 45? Aren't we?
45 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't want to give you guys an opportunity to talk afterwards. It's the Royage UV 58.
I had to talk when I agreed to this.
Yes, it's commentary, man. It's all about talk.
Just look pretty.
Well, that's the main reason why you're here.
Yeah.
So the Royage UV 58 Plus, it's a UHF VHF 5 watt. Both of these radios are USB-C chargeable. Wouldn't have it any other way. I'm not entirely sure. I've got a charger cradle for this. I'm pretty sure it came with one. I'll just have to find it. If I don't, I owe you one, because when I get a radio that's USB-C chargeable, I don't use the charging cradles that much because I can just plug them into a good old charger. So it is what it is. So let me prep this up and we will go with,
Is that a UV 58 plus?
UV 58 Plus.
Okay. Yeah. So that is, it looks like that's supported in Chirp too. So
Yes, I wanted to say that, and I forgot all about it. Thank you, Tim, because the Baofeng model as well is supported. So let's put, we'll just make it difficult. We'll put Royage. How about pound Royage? And let me do. We will do this. No. And this. Yes. Can you see that?
Yep.
Okay. Pound Royage. Put that in the chat, y'all, and we will have a drawing for a nice Royage UV 58 Plus handheld. There's 4 entries already, so we're already on the beat here. We're rolling down the line. And I've got to turn that off. I've got my Slack server going. And I don't know if you guys can hear the notifications, but I sure can.
Yep.
Yeah, we can hear it.
I'm sorry about that. I should prepare better. I just doing streams, period. I just need to do it more often. I think we may bounce it up to like once a month instead of twice every 2 years.
Well, Freddie, just along those lines, and we kind of talked on the backside about maybe doing one on a regular basis. Now that we've got, I don't know, we got 70-some people here.
At least, because we're up to 56 in the drawing.
83. I got 83 on the thing. So, and while we got people here doing this, let me know in the comments. Would you guys be interested in our own little group or Tuesday, Thursday group of guys maybe doing a regular live stream of some sort? Maybe a little bit more technical than the clubhouse, but not quite as technical as the Thursday night stream. What are those guys called? Coffee and Ham Radios.
Coffee and Ham Radios.
And of course, Boondock Echo. But no, but I've been thinking about it, and I've been kind of joking around. It's like the kids table. I think that's what we should call ourselves.
Hey, the kids table,
right?
I made it to the kids table.
I don't know, because the holiday came up, and my wife's family, we'd go there. I'm in my 50s and I'm still going to the kids table to eat. And to be quite honest, that's where the fun is at. It's now mostly adult children with their own kids now.
Oh yeah. Oh
and,
yeah.
and that's honestly just the place to hang out. So um, that'd be my vote.
That's not a bad idea. Let us know down in the comments, y'all.
Yes,
The live stream
absolutely.
or the actual comments to this video. Give us some input because
Yeah.
you know Jeff and Tim and me, and we've also got Mike into MAK. We got Frank Ham Radio Wilderness with Frank KG6NLW, and we've got Eric N1JUR. We've got a host of folks these days. We got Digital Rancher.
Yep.
Uh,
Got a couple
Rock
new
Ham Radio.
Alan, punk rock ham radio or
Punk
ham
Rock
radio.
Ham Radio. We got
Yep,
the
we
Ham
just
Ninja.
came in
I mean,
through it.
we're hitting
Ham
from all
Ninja.
directions. We got POTA. We got All Star. We got battery boxes. We've got
Soda.
Gee whiz.
All
That's something
Star.
I'd like to do, and we could knock this out.
We even got those guys from up northeast that are in the group too.
I've
Yeah.
been doing Tota.
Tota?
That's tractors
Oh.
on the air. Yeah.
There you go.
I forgot about that.
There you go.
James got his tractor fixed, and now he's POTA on the air. Oh, geez, that's hilarious. Okay, we got 60 entries. You got about 10 seconds, and we're going to pull the trigger on the Voyage UV58 Plus. And it's not moving. It's okay. If you don't want to win a radio, you don't have to win a radio. But,
Aaron's going to bring the bourbon. I'm all about this.
ooh, yes, bring it on.
Get
And-
some of that larceny.
Don't forget about the More Expo. What is that? March or April? I want to say it was
April.
late March, early April. I want to say it's April.
It's April. It's like 19th and somewhere in that.
Yeah,
It's like
fairgrounds.
the third week of April. And unfortunately for me, it's the same weekend as the Bronco Super Celebration.
That's right. That's right.
But I will say this: I did have more fun at the More Expo just because it was ham radio too, and not 15,000 people, 15 truck owners all crammed into the Gatlinburg area.
I never seen any more campers in one place in my life than I did at the More Expo. My gosh, but it was so cool. So cool. The vendors were awesome. The vendors were just great.
Mhm.
Okay, 61 entries. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Chris Robinson
See
said that somebody said bourbon got his attention.
bourbon.
Bourbon.
Oh, Jim Green, N5 PMP from Kellyville, America, my hometown. James Green just won. And I don't have to mail this one. I know where he lives. And I'll be in his county on Sunday, and I can hand deliver it right to him. Maybe he'll give it to his wife. Won't you, Jim? She's an extra now. She passed me as a general, and she's an extra now. That girl takes her test and wins it the first time, every time. She, oh my gosh, she's smarter than I'll ever be.
She should take my exam for me.
That's what I'm saying. Hey, Connie, we need to talk. No. Oh shoot, she is smart as a whip. I'm telling you, man. Let's see.
You see Mike's comment there? There you go.
It's refreshing to see that all the winners aren't in South Carolina like in Clubhouse. No, we truly randomize our winners here at the Ham Radio Crusader YouTube channel.
Hey,
Oh, gee whiz.
Freddie. I don't want to be a screen hog or anything, but you might want to put the group back up.
I'm going to do that as soon as I know how to click on the button. Gosh, God.
Hey, it's all good, man. We are all
I need a timer on that.
We're all here to learn together, my friend.
That's for sure. Well, it's awareness. It's all about awareness. It's shut up, Freddie, and look at the dead burn screen and see what you're doing wrong here, buddy. Story of my life. Story of my life. It is what it is. I took the wife out today. I don't know if y'all know this or not. She had surgery a few weeks ago. It's going to take a long time to recover, but she's doing real good. It's all positive, just a slow recovery, and she's about to go stir crazy. So we went out and about today and took her out to lunch and did some light shopping. It almost turned into some heavy shopping because she was looking at refrigerators and stuff like that. We got to get out of here. But it was a good day nonetheless. But it was a long drive, and I got up too early to stay awake that long on a long, boring drive. But it is what it is. It was all good. She's definitely a keeper, John. She's definitely a keeper. As a matter of fact, next month she and I will hit our 30th wedding anniversary. And let me tell you what, anybody on this planet that's going to put up with me in the same house for 30 years without killing me, she's got the patience of Job. That's all I can say. That is all I can say.
You were talking pretty highly of her when we went camping.
Dude, I'll tell you what, she saved my life in more ways than one.
I think you were even expressing some fear that you damaged Uncle Eddie.
Oh, Cousin Eddie, the Cousin Eddie mobile. Yeah. Which I just about got him all ready. I'm taking him to More Expo again now. I seriously doubt Cousin Eddie will ever see the mountains or the hills of Dayton, Ohio ever again. That was a long, long trip. That thing, it's a 91 model 18-foot trailer, and it's heavy.
Mm-hmm.
So it sucked the gas right out of that truck all the way up there. But it was nice. It was nice having a place to sleep in the warm, because that first day was rain.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the weather wasn't perfect, but it cleared up by that evening on that first day. But Saturday at Dayton Hamvention, or Xenia Hamvention, was amazing. Sun came out, it got warm. It was great to have an air conditioner at that same time too. So,
yeah.
But man, I really want to go to Dayton again, though. I really want to go to Dayton.
That's on my bucket list.
Boy, I'm telling you,
I want to go.
Never seen that big of a flea market that's hamfest related in my life. And my budget for that trip went mainly to gas.
I went to Belton back, I don't know, 5-6 years ago, and that was a blast. So I can't imagine how much more fun Dayton would probably be.
Oh, geez. And the amount of vendors there, James and I are accustomed to Green Country Hamfest in Claremore, Oklahoma. It's like the biggest hamfest in Oklahoma. And it's not a bad one. Don't get me wrong. Back in the day, there were more vendors there, as far as when I say vendors, like ICOM and Yesu and all that good stuff. And I tell you what, when you go to Dayton, they are all there and they're giving stuff away. It's like, holy smokes, this place was great, dude.
So I don't live that far from Dayton. I didn't go until 2 years ago. That's the first time I went.
Oh, no joke.
Because I'd been to the Hamfest here. And I mean, like the Indianapolis one used to be a really big one. And the first couple of times that I went, there was really nobody. There was I don't think there was any new vendors at all. I mean, there was people that were selling bibs and bobs and stuff like that. No new equipment, none of the HRO or DX engineering or anything like that. I mean, so your big draw really was flea market, and but it got, I don't know, it just didn't impress me. And I was just like, man, for years I'm kind of like, I want to go to Dayton, but I never really, I couldn't muster up the desire to drive a couple hours and go over there. Then I finally go. And but I'm also tied in with this group, right?
Well, sure.
And so that helps out. So I know people that are gonna be there.
Exactly. That was the best part about it.
Right. I was going for a couple of days. I wasn't just driving over from Indianapolis and driving back. And that made a huge difference.
Oh yeah.
It's great to see all the vendors. It's great that all the major retailers are there. It's great that, like you said, that the giant flea market, the international attendance in there is also great. Seeing the ARRL equivalents, from Canada and from Japan and from England, and that is cool to see that, because that's truly, you are now intermixing and intertwining with with the international amateur radio community, not
Community,
just
yes,
your,
that was
not just your local group. And that truly made it fun. And you get to meet people like Mike into MAK and
and I got
Yeah.
Mike K8MRD and of course I'd already met Kyle and Jason, but I got to meet gee whiz, Josh Naz, and I mean a lot of the guys I just never met, and it was an experience. And I wasn't there no time, and I bought a stinking POTA 20. It's like
walked in the door and I got POTA 20.
Boing is like, wow. The guy's like, we only have so many of these, and we just dove on them. And I get home and I unload everything, after all that stuff, and I put it right here on this shelf, just kind of facing like that, and totally forgot where I put it. Yeah, I found it like 3 weeks ago.
I remember you talking about that,
dude. I was so scared I left it there somewhere, man. It was just like, what? And now I have my POTA 33. And
have you used it yet?
No, I haven't used it yet. I'm building a little mount, a little tripod, not a tripod, but a little ground mount that Buddy and I got an idea from another ham, and I'm doing a video on it. But it's going to my next activation for sure because I just love it.
I'm gonna mess with that. I don't have any negative criticism about it, but I do have a comparison, and I don't think it's a big deal. I think it's more of a how you use it.
Right.
I generally lean mine up into a tree, and so I'm at the far end of the antenna on an infed, and I lean it up in the tree, and I'm using the weight of the mast to keep the tension and keep it leaned into the tree.
Right. And
the POTA 33 is a little lighter. It's quite a bit lighter. It's like half the weight of the fiberglass.
I love that the diameter is so much smaller than my DX Commander POTA pole.
It is. And so that is kind of the only downside to it. But I still used it. I still used it in the same way I used the fiberglass mask, and it still worked. It just, I wish I had a little more weight. So
yeah.
I just had to put a little bit more angle into the lean back into the tree.
Right.
And it worked great.
Cool. Well, this is the next gift that we're giving away. Can you see this all right? Do I have it right on the screen?
That's good.
All right. This is the quirky QRP. Don't tread on my frequencies ham radio flag. It's in the style of the original Gadsden flag. Excuse me. My allergies are attacking me. So this is in by the good graces of James Hannibal with quirky QRP. I'm sorry, James, I can't remember your call because I'm just terrible that way. But he so graciously offered up to give this away to one lucky viewer out there tonight. And we appreciate James for that. Thank you, James. He's always supported our channels and just about everything that we do for real. And can't say thank you enough about that. So we are going to say put pound QRP in the chat and let's see who's going to win a quirky QRP Gadsden flag. Don't tread on my frequencies flag, as it were. Excuse me. Can you guys see that okay? Do I have it on the screen right?
Yep.
All right. Look at me go. I'm getting consistent and stuff.
All right. So, hey, while we're doing this, without saying it, and now that there's a bunch of stuff going on, if anybody, let's see here. How do I put it? What is quirky about quirky QRP's call sign?
Oh, that's a good question. I'd flip over and tell you because I can't remember it, but I'd take this off the screen.
Yeah.
I need more monitors. That's what I need. I only have two.
What is quirky about quirky QRP's call sign?
Throw it into the live stream chat. We're up to 40 entries already. Wow, that was fast. Everybody knows the clock is ticking. And I've got a quirky QRP. I call it my POTA mat, but it's like the excuse me, the desktop mat with the LED going around the edge. and it's got all the band layout on it for the different classes of amateur radio licenses. It's a reference mat and helps me to no end because I can't hold a thought in my head for 1 minute to the next, especially if I'm not thinking about All-Star or anything Linux. It's not staying in my head. It's not staying in my head. I've learned so much. I got a new coworker where I work. I do my retirement job is IT a couple of days a week, and we got a new guy in. He's full-time, but he's like a freaking Linux genius. Joe Urban, shout out to you if you're watching. His dad and his brother are hams, and I'm trying to rope him in, but he saved me on that hourly time announcement with weather conditions. I had it almost all the way home, and I couldn't get over the hump, and he figured it out. It's like, come on,
Very
man.
cool.
It was great. It was so great. He's like, oh, yeah, I used to do this. It's like it was so simple,
You need to go back to him and ask him to do the time in military time, 24-hour time.
Oh, that's right. I did. I need to ask him about that. I do need to ask him about that because that condition is in that script somewhere, but I think it's got to be able to say it correctly or something. I can't remember, but we're going back to that for sure.
That would be interesting to me. You could let him know that about packet radio. That would draw his attention as a Linux guy. That would draw his attention.
Here's a funny story of several months ago before him and the other assistant, a IT worker that's there. They're not assistants, but they actually do a brunt of the work. Before they started, I bought for the office 2 TID radio TDH8s. And I already had one, and I need one for the other 2 workers so that we could talk to each other on the public safety frequency that we are licensed for. And the 2 guys that were there at the time could have cared less. They had no interest with it. So they sat on a shelf, and I just, I made sure they didn't go anywhere. I watched them like a hawk. And now that these 2 guys are there, Joe and Rafi, they're both interested. Now, Rafi jumped on it first. He's like, what's this about? Can I hear what's going on with the DOs, and everything? Because we work in a jail and because we have our own channel as well. And now Joe's like, okay, is this my radio? Because he's like, hey, is this mine? And he's charging it up and he's watching and listening. So the interest is there. I just got to reel him in the rest of the way. So I think packet radio may do it for Joe. I think you would. I really do. Okay, so we're up to 50 entries, y'all. I'm going to give you about 10 more seconds because we're actually over our hour, which, hey, if you're all having fun, it's not that big a deal. But I'm sure some folks have got some other things to do on a Wednesday night. And we will give away the quirky QRP Don't Tread on My Frequencies flag from James Hannibal over at Quirky QRP at, what is it, Etsy? The website is Etsy, and I didn't get the stinking. I'll put the link in the description of the video. How about that? Let's do that. Okay. We're going to give it away. Yeah, hit the right button, Fred. Okay, we got 51, so we're going to pull the trigger, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. And we're underway.
Drum roll, please.
Winner, Sparky Thor. Sparky Thor, if you're there, send me an email, Kilo Delta 5 Foxtrot Mike Uniform at gmail.com. That's KD5FMU at gmail.com. And I will forward your information on to James at Quirky QRP. And in good time, he will send you a Don't Tread on My Frequencies flag from the Quirky QRP Etsy store. So far out. Cool. Y'all had fun or what?
Oh yeah.
I put his link in the
thank you, Tim.
chat there
that is very much appreciated.
And you talked about that reference, Matt. I use mine almost every time I go out on a POTA activation. You're always you're trying to find a frequency.
Amen.
As an extra, I can operate the entire voice portion. But in POTAs, you want to make sure you stay in that general section so you get the most amount of people that can respond to you. And it's always like, okay, I'm on this band, and I never know what it is. So, almost every activation, I go right back to that reference match.
It-
Just find out where
those
that stuff
those
is.
help. Yeah, those help so much.
Oh man.
But if you really want to be that person, go down and activate in the extra portion. Not
Oh.
me. I can't do it yet, but I like it when people get upset about it. It's like, oh my god, you're in the extra portion. I was like, oh god. That's
There's
why.
nothing,
Don't have a
there's
count.
nothing. If you're licensed for it, there's nothing stopping you.
Yeah, yeah.
And
And if
using
people don't,
the van. Yeah,
yeah, if people don't
I've had
like it,
people.
they
I
need
got
to
a
get
guy yell at
licensed.
me one day because I was doing an AM activation and I wasn't on the AM calling frequency, and I had to school him and remind him that it's a legitimate modulation type throughout the entire.
Sure.
Yeah,
But
It's just
that's
like
you
good. grief.
got a lot of the self-proclaimed experts.
And there's a bunch of them.
Oh man, I've had my run-in with them, mostly through YouTube. Also, being
Jeff,
on
I think
other
you're the
streams and stuff like that.
I think you're the magnet for disruptors.
Well, I don't know. Randy
I could
Randolph.
be.
You handle them well, brother. You handle them well.
Yeah,
Randolph,
or on nets. I mean, people on nets are saying they're just saying stuff like, "Oh, you can't talk about that stuff because it's copyrighted," and I'm like, "No, it's not. You could." It's a subject about telling jokes on a net, and some guy came in and just said, "You can't do that because jokes are copyrighted." I'm like, "No, they're not." And it's funny that people think that things are copyrighted or you can't live stream amateur radio, and people reinterpret the FCC rules to bend it to their will. But if you read the rules, it says what you can and can't do. And yes, you can not rebroadcast, but you can live stream amateur radio frequencies. And yes, I could say your call sign on the YouTube live stream.
Oh yeah.
It is a public forum. Oh, you can't do that. It's private. It's like, no, it's not. It's a public forum. I can go out and yell your call sign out in the middle of the street.
Yeah.
It's a public forum.
You know, it's
I just get I get a kick out of these people though. It's always interesting.
It is.
it's interesting. I hear people complain about, putting the QRZ pages up. It's an open directory.
Yeah.
There are some stuff you have to be logged in to see. So, but even like an email address doesn't show up unless you hover over it after you're logged in.
Right.
Yeah, there was the ham tuber live stream Saturday, I think it was, with Josh.
Yeah.
He brought up, I noticed it just because of that same thing. People brought up QRZ pages, but they weren't logged into them. So they were showing the call sign and whatever information underneath, like the bio and everything. Not the bio, but the person's description, or the biography of each of whoever. What's wrong with that? I mean, he's hiding the fact that he didn't log in, hiding the address, and can't see the email anyway. So what's the problem?
Yeah.
I don't get some people. I mean, he did the right thing with not being logged in, but I know. But even if someone was logged in, they were showing it on their screen during a live feed or something like that. It's still public information. Just the fact that QRZ has a login hiding it from just basically anyone else that doesn't have a call sign.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's a semi-privacy issue, but like the man said, FCC records are public. It is what it is. You can look it all up on the internet if you know where to look.
And there's companies that are selling your information too on the internet. So
That's
there you go, mister.
right there. That is for sure.
Yeah. So I think a couple people picked up what was quirky about Corky QRP's call sign? Freddie, remember that? Or do you?
I remember the question. I don't remember the call sign.
Yeah.
Because I'm terrible that way. I don't know what it is with my head. What is James's call sign? Where is he at in here?
I
Yeah,
know
I
it's somewhere.
I was going through there trying to find him again. I can only
Let's
go up
see.
so far.
Very elusive. James Hannibal. Make a comment in the chat. Gosh, Margaret. I tell you what, we've had a good turnout tonight. And guys, I tell you what, everyone out there listening and watching, I appreciate it very, very much, as I know the guys here with me do as well. KH2SR. Thank you, Frank. Frank is always quick on the trigger with resources.
KH2SR. KH2.
Kilo Hotel 2 Sierra Romeo.
You don't see that prefix very often.
You really don't.
No. It's kind of quirky.
It is quirky. Why is it such that way, James Hannibal? I'm here, but I'm at my kid's scout meeting. Well, you attend the scout meeting, brother. Don't let us interrupt that. Dad gummit, that's way more important.
Should be broadcasting a live stream to a scout meeting.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Right. We'll try that for next time.
Hey,
there.
I'm a scout leader. Here we go.
Just saying. You could be my scout leader, Tim. I never was allowed to enter the scouts. Not because they were the scouts. It's because
you had
the
me scared there
uniform
for a
cost
second,
money.
Freddie. I thought you were going to say you were not allowed to be a scout leader.
No, I wasn't allowed to join the scouts. Back then in the 70s, you know, all the cool kids was in the Cub Scouts and the Boy Scouts, and they had the uniforms and they wore them once a week to school. I was so jealous. But, you know, we were my dad was the only one. He was the breadwinner. Mom was the housewife. A lot of us kids, money was tight. So that was something we didn't spend money on. So later on, my kids all got to go. This is the way it was. Hey, you know what? I'm not bitter about it. I just, you know, I know my parents took care of me. I never wanted for food or anything else, especially love. So we did all right. We did all right.
So real quick on James's call sign. KH2 is the prefix that is reserved for Guam.
Oh,
and so my understanding is that in James's youth, when he got licensed, he lived in Guam.
That's
And,
cool.
he was able to hang on to that call sign. I believe he lives in California, and I'd show his QRZ page, but I heard it's copyrighted.
You can't ever tell. You
No.
can't ever tell. Well, guys, I just want to sum up everything and let all the listeners out there know. I thank you for the 6,000 subs. I'm up to almost 6,100 now, and I appreciate every single thing that you do for the channel and for amateur radio and for All Star, as far as that goes. You know, All Star is kind of my bread and butter, but I'm branching out to other things like POTA. I hope to do SOTA some days if my knees will ever let me do it. I'm not sure that's going to happen, but we'll see where it goes. But I'm doing some other things as well. I'm crusading, as it were, as I said 2 years ago, crusading my way back to law enforcement. Yeah, no, I'm back to radio because
Don't go to the light.
exactly. I get offers still to this day. Hey, you want to come back? No, I don't. I really don't. I'm really happy where I'm at now, and so is my knees and the rest of my body. It's just it is what it is. But I want to say thank you to everyone out there listening. I want to say thank you to Jeff and Tim and James being with me on the live stream tonight, and all the other playlist ham tubers on Thursdays and Tuesday nights with Mike N2MAK and Eric N1JUR and everybody else I'm not thinking of right now. And Frank especially, because, you know, I need to have Frank as my Frank, like Jason's got his Frank. Frank could be my Frank because he's quick on the trigger, dude. He's remembering all this stuff I'm forgetting. Of course, Tim does too, and Jeff's helping out with that stuff. It just, wow, I'm overwhelmed, and I really appreciate everything you guys do. I really, really do. So, with that said, I think we're just going to sign off and get the heck out of here and go eat some supper. How about that?
Cool.
What's
Sounds
for
good.
dinner?
I don't know yet, but whatever it is, I heat up. That's what's for dinner. Mama's hard, y'all, and I got to be there for her. That's all there is to it. That's just all there is to it. All right. With that said, everybody say goodbye. Wave to the camera. Say 73s. Wishing all the good signals to be yours. Ham on, y'all. Thank you for coming, everybody.